Good morning, everyone. This is Amanda, the Emotional Strength Trainer. Welcome to Morning Stretches to begin 2020. I am back on deck after school holidays have all finished. I have TV screens everywhere over my eyeballs. So I thought let's get back into it with a morning stretches and to talk to you about a few different things that are going on in the world and how to emotionally strengthen yourself to get sorted with them. So today is the 30th of January 2020 here in southeast Queensland, and I hope that all is well for you in your parts of the world. My mate Pete is here, and so is my mate Michael. How are you? Did you get that virus sorted out, Pete? There's lots of ordinary and interesting things that have happened in the world since the start of 2020, with all of these big promises of it going to be the new decade, the new everything, and then all of a sudden, next minute, we're dealing with all sorts of fabulous things. So I'm just going to share this around while some people come in. Hello Lynn, hello Anne, how are you?
Good morning everyone.
Oh, there we go, we're working, share. All right, I'm going to share this over to my Newtown Natural Health page as well. Share to group. Just on a rating of 1 to 10, hello Ray, hi Michelle, on a rating of 1 to 10, how has 2020 been for you so far? How has, how has life shown up for you? How has, people, how have the people been showing up for you? It's quite the little fun bucket, if you want, of activity. I know that there's been so many different things that have come up with things that we can't control, essentially. And this is where you want to start to make sure you're staying in your now. Okay, so let's go and talk about this. We'll get started. So first of all, I want to talk to you about the coronavirus and the media attention to it, the possibilities of what's, from that fear-mongering, but also I want to talk to you about ways that you can boost your immune system, and they're easy things to do if you are frightened of this virus. And it doesn't matter where you're living, there's really key things with that. Then I'm going to talk to you about being discerning with your energy, and then I'm also going to give you a fill-in of the things that I've come up with what I will be doing in 2020 to help you with your emotional strength, and also information sharing, those sorts of things. So it's pretty cool, and I'm excited for this year. So, coronavirus. One of the things that happens when these viruses come around, and this is important to understand, the medical industry, it's like any time you go to a doctor or a surgeon or anything in the medical group, they have to tell you the worst case scenario, okay? They have to tell you, anyone ever had surgery and they've got to run through the list of possibilities of what can happen, and it's up to you then to take that information, but it's kind of like covering their ass. So if you die, it's okay because they told you you could die with this surgery and there's no liability. That kind of stuff. So what happens when these big viruses show up? They have to tell you the possibilities of what can happen. Now, this is where me being medically friendly will say it's important to follow their directives if you're immunocompromised. So the elderly, young children, people with autoimmune diseases, anything where your immune system is depleted. These are the people that are at more or greater risk of being affected by viruses, anything like flu season, even when the winter comes here in Australia. And the same thing, it's always the same conversation when the Eka comes here in Brisbane. It's always flu season and they be careful, do this. The first thing that is so important with any kind of hygiene regime is always wash your hands. If you go out into a public place, wash your hands before putting your hands near your mouth. Don't touch surfaces like the top of escalator railings or anything like that, door handles. These are the things that are basic human hygiene standards. Washing your hands, making sure you're eating in places if you have to eat out. It also links into that discerning with your energy. And again, please know this is for people who are frightened of getting the virus, okay? Stay out of public places, those sorts of things. The one thing that, those of you who follow me will know that, one of the things that happens with these things, and I have had a friend this morning confirm it for me, we were talking about it, is the fact that there's heightened possibilities of racism because it was born in China. And then all of the things with people traveling, and my friend confirmed her partner or friend is traveling in Italy at the moment and saw 2 Chinese people being bailed up on a train by people. Now that's fear, because people are hearing that there's this many people have contracted the disease, this many people have died. But one of the things that they don't point out in the media is how the circumstances associated to the people have died. It's not like Ebola or something that's, it's so much worse. These people were probably immunocompromised and they didn't have the capacity to fight off the virus. So the next part that I want to talk to you about is the trio of health. The reason why at my health centre we have a 3-pronged logo of leaf. The trio of health is structural immune system, chemical immune system, and emotional immune system. Now all you have to do is follow principles with these 3 things in your immune system, and you give yourself every chance of not contracting any illnesses, in fact. When you bring in the trio of health, you are giving yourself and your body all of these great optimum levels of living in. Structural health is making sure your spine is healthy. And that is because you have your brain, the spinal column comes from the brain and gets housed in the spine. So if any of your vertebrae are out of alignment, then it's going to create a lack of messaging capacity to go through the nervous system, because all of the nerves that talk to the rest of your body come from your spinal column. So chiropractic is a really good way of freeing up the blockages to make sure the messages get through. And if you want to Google immune system boosting, how immune system boosting the chiropractic is for you, then do that, because I'm also living proof. I've been going to a chiropractor since I was 10 months old. I've just turned 49 and I have the medical records to prove it. Both of my children have been going to the chiropractor since they were a week old. I had them checked out after they were born to make sure that the birthing process didn't subluxate anything. They were both good, but we have been going every month since they were born, and they also have the medical records to prove it, okay? They don't get sick, and I mean proper sick. And this will take me into the next leaf of the trio of health. Your chemical immune system. Some foods create inflammation in your body for some people. So sometimes if you are dairy intolerant or wheat intolerant or grain intolerant, then it will create a situation in your body that will deplete your immune system, and then it opens up gateways for other things to come in. So if it's a season where these kind of viruses are going around, or flu season or anything like that, don't eat inflammatory foods. Now, even if you don't know if you have food intolerances, dairy creates scum in your body, and wheat also, it turns to sugar very fast. So these kind of foods can inflame aspects of your body, which means that your gut health is affected. So if you've got white gunk on the top of your tongue, dark circles underneath your eyes or dark under your eyes, feeling like your skin is itchy all of a sudden, but there's nothing there biting you, these are little indicators that you may have a food intolerance and it's upsetting your stomach, okay? If you get recurring throat issues, recurring tonsillitis, that's definitely gut issues. And that means to go and investigate foods, and like you can go to a bioresonance therapist, an applied kinesiologist. There are ways and means that you can be food tested without having be stabbed all over your arm, or having to wait by taking something out of your diet to see if it helps you. So chemical immune system is very, very important, okay? Eating clean foods, high vibrational foods, drop the processed foods. For those in the Northern Hemisphere, lots of soups and things like that. For those in the Southern Hemisphere, if you're a meat eater, meats and salads, those sorts of things. Then that kicks into the other side, which is the emotional immune system. Now, to keep connected to the food aspect, if you've ever done any reading about the microbiome in your gut, sometimes, and then my neuroscientist that I'm connected with has done work around calling schizophrenia type 3 diabetes, okay? And it can be managed with food, as well as that's what their experiments are, seeing how schizophrenics respond to diabetic medication. But it all comes back down to gut. So when you're looking at your emotional health, sometimes food can, one, cause subluxations, so you need your chiropractor to bring that, fix your spine. Get off the foods that are causing the inflammation. And then sometimes the food can also create emotional disturbances, your brain's capacity to stay calm, etc., etc. But the other part of your emotional health is, which is what happens when these big notifications come out, is instilling fear. So if you have neural pathways and synapses that create stories in your mind that are attached to fear, then you're going to deplete your immune system's ability to stay strong in something, because you're sitting there focusing on, I hope I don't get this disease, or I hope I don't die, because you've heard of how many people have died from this virus. So this is the part where you have the capacity to take action, which will lead me into humaning in 2020. What is most important going forward in this new decade, this new era that we're going into? Because remember me speaking last year about it was the end of a 37-year era, and we've just started the next one, and we're going into that now. These making choices for yourself that are so important when it comes to understanding your own personal responsibility. Now, when I say humaning, there are so many things happening in the world, and especially since the 1st of January. The stuff with Iran, this virus now, the fires here in Australia, which are still ongoing. They're down in Canberra now, our nation's capital. And, the loss of life with our iconic wildlife, all of those sorts of things. We have governmental things that are going on here at the moment, which is showing high-level corruption, and, the impeachment stuff in the US. There's all of these things that are stacking up around looking at the energy of who can you trust. If you Google the coronavirus, you'll find documents where people have alluded to the fact that a patent was running out, so it's a man-made virus, because they needed to be able to make money on the vaccines. There's a lot of information that doesn't get out in the mainstream, that social media brings into the mainstream, but then there's no way of checking if it's accurate or correct or anything like that. So the point of this from an emotional strength point of view is to do your best to stay separate from things, being really discerning in your energy and where you put your energy, especially in social media or online. And also with friendship groups, family members, all of those sorts of things. It's one of those situations where it's really important to stay in your own lane or stay in your own bubble, because if you let these outside things in, they will disturb your peace in such a profound way. And that's the gift of what this new era is bringing, and what I'm hoping to share with you this year in 2020 with emotional strength training is this concept of always just come back to self, always just come back to why is this bothering me? Going into curiosity mode. Why am I feeling like I need to engage in this? Or why am I feeling like I need to do this? Because with the amount of information and the amount of stuff that's going on that you can't control, you will put yourself into overwhelm. So you do really need to be discerning with your energy to make sure that you stay separate from the catastrophe, the fear-mongering, okay? Taking action, using the trio of health if you're frightened of getting the coronavirus. If you've never been to a chiropractor and all you've heard from people is they're dangerous or they hurt or anything like that, or they don't fix people, then you've got to ask yourself, why are they saying that? Because there's some pretty key questions after. If somebody says to me, oh, I went to a chiropractor once and it didn't work, I'm like, I have 1,000 questions to ask after that to see if they followed the instructions, if they went for a follow-up, because a chiropractic adjustment on a new person will not work in one hit. Did they do any stretching? Did they go to a massage therapist to get rid of the muscle memory? All sorts of things. You have to be in curiosity as to who you get your information from. Because if it's part of your self-fulfilling prophecy that it's just easier to be frightened of something, and then the energetic burden that comes with that, then that's okay. No judgment. At the same time, if you're sick of feeling like that, what positive actions can you take to remove that stuff from your life? When you set your intention to hear from somebody that's been to a chiropractor, that successfully lived with chiropractic in their life and have lots of stories to share about the benefits of it, then those kind of people will come into your life. But if you're also going to sit there, same thing. If you have a natural therapist that sits there and says, don't ever go to the doctor, they don't know what they're doing, then you would want to run screaming the other way. Because a natural therapist has no right to say that, because everybody is different. Medicine has its place. So it's very important to make sure you remain curious, remain in a lane of, I only attract people into my life who love and accept me for who I am and are on the same path as me. I only attract people into my life who are on the same vibrational growth phase as me. Or people who will stretch you to grow. These are little things that you can do for yourself. So what's coming in 2020 for you, my dear people? First off, I have a new community that I'm building called the Heads Up Community. And it is a place where you can sign up for an email from me when I start to see patterns. Because as you know, I do a shit ton of reading and researching, and I look and listen to what people are saying, and then all of a sudden a pattern will show up and I'll go, ooh, and then I will send out an email. So what I was doing on my page last year was hands up if you have a sore knee, ankle, or hands up if you've had weird or nasty dreams, or hands up if somebody from your past has come back into your life, those kind of things, okay? So this is a free community, and one of the things that has always, what do I want to say? This is a personal projection, okay? This is not an attack. It's something completely different. When people ask you to sign up for something and then they just send advertising or buy this, buy this, buy this. I don't like those things. So I am creating a community that allows you to, and I'm just putting the link in there. Let me type here, Heads Up Community. There we go. So this is the link to sign up for the Heads Up community. This is what it will look like when you get an email from me. It will have at the top the date that the pattern will be for, the description of the pattern that I've seen, and then the action steps you can take. Okay? Now, after the information, which will be at the beginning, saying there will be nothing more than, it's kind of like a mission impossible, if your mission if you choose to accept it kind of concept. And then when it's finished, at the bottom of it, it says this is the end of the heads up information. And then if you continue to scroll, there will be special offers, products, those sorts of things underneath that. So yes, there will be things that you can buy and opt into and all of those sorts of things, but I will give you the information that says, if you scroll any further, you're going to get salesy things. So it's up to you. Positive action, action taking, decisions. See? Okay. So that's your Heads Up community. You're going to get, depending on what's going on, maybe an email a week or a fortnight. The first one already came out with the new moon on the 24th, 25th. So that one's in the feed of my page if you want to have a look at it. The next part of that is going into my audio community. So each week on Mondays, Australian Eastern Standard Time, I still have my Evolved AF community, which gets an energy healing every Monday. It's a great place to start if you haven't had energy healing in your life. And it's just, it is healing. It's a concept that gives you information, tells you what's being cleared out from the last week, and giving you those heads up of what to do as the energy goes forward. It's a really great community because it is healing at cellular level, and it is a group collective whole, what I call, or the collective consciousness, what I call the greater whole. It is an energy healing from that capacity. So that's available. So I'll put that up here for you, and you can do memberships in quarterly, half yearly, or yearly for that one. And it's an as well as. This is not instead of, okay? Here we go. What am I calling it? Okay, so it's, I'm trying to remember the link. Evolved AF audio. Now, Evolved AF can be AF as evolved as fuck, or Evolved Amanda Foy. Is this community, this movement that I'm creating and helping you to evolve as you go through your life. Okay, so that's now, the link is now there for that. I have an exciting little offer coming out for anyone that is new to this energy. I have written a first aid manual, if you like, an emotional strength first aid manual. And I'm just in a proofing phase at the moment. And it's a 40-page booklet explaining what emotional strength training is. One of my biggest ahas of 2019 is that my community is all aware of emotional strength training. And I want to try and get to as many people as I can now, because it's time to bring in something new to help you with your life. My work is not about curing anything. It's about reducing or removing suffering from your life. Even if you are going through things that are suffering, this concept can help you stay present and remove the burden from your cells. So look out for that soon. There will be a booklet for you to download, to be able to read if you're interested in bringing this sort of stuff into your life. So that's coming. The other thing is, my first program for the year is going to be the faculty of forgiveness. And holy crap, I'm excited about this one. Forgiveness is something that has been taught through the New Age for decades. You have to forgive people who've hurt you because it's better for you when you do. And it's true. Sometimes when you can get to a place of forgiveness because you look at the choices they've made in your life, it sets you free versus carrying the anger and the burden. But I read a document over my holidays that validated something that I have been sitting with for a really long time. And this new program that I'm doing is going to take away that capacity to sit there and make it about them, to give you permission to not forgive somebody else. It's forgiving something completely different. And I'm really excited about that. So keep your eye out for that. Everything else is as per normal. Newtown Natural Health is open again full time. I have sessions available Tuesdays to Fridays. Doesn't matter what part of the world you're in. You're welcome to come here physically if you want to. And I also have a new product which is mentoring sessions for people who aren't so much into the energy work where I go through the chakra systems, but just want to talk about things and come up with a plan or join the dots as to what's going on. You know, that really is, joining the dots is my greatest gift. To be able to sit there and use all of the emotional strength training concepts and the questions that I ask, to be able to build that question and reason why life is looking like it is. It just lights me up when we're able to go, boom, there it is. That's why you have this in your life. And it creates immediate freedom. So I have those sessions available now, and they're on this link. This is the Newtown Natural Health one. And again, we can do it via Skype or Zoom if you like. You don't have to come here and get that started. So I still turn the energy on. I do that before we start talking. We start joining the dots. We build the picture. We build the jigsaw puzzle. And then I close the energy off. So whatever we talk about is being brought to the surface and swept away as well. It's just not these are the blockages that I see in 8 parts of your body, which is still the emotional strength training sessions, and they're all there. So that's pretty much it. Let me see if there are any questions. So Teresa, hello. Michelle, yes, it's been a long year. Ranjana, hello. Sareba is there, hello. Donna, Charlene, Pete, yes. Valerie, thank you. Oh, Brooklyn, oh, how is your baby? Jerry's here. Vivian, hello. Sam, hello, Sam. I will wave to you through the wall. And Anne is there. And Nicole, great. All right, well, thanks for staying, everybody. I look forward to being part of your emotional health and well-being team this year. The other group to jump into is Esoteric Solutions. If you want all of the stuff that I read from an astrological point of view, that's just an information sharing group. I just feed stuff in there. I don't comment. I don't anything. I created it for me because there were so many things I needed to read. So I was just sticking them in the group, and I thought I'll just open it and anyone that wants to read it can come on in. So that's there for you as well. It's hopefully not going to be a tragic year. It's not started off real well, but again, stay in your own lane. Just bring yourself back to your present anytime, and that you're feeling in overwhelm. Take yourself out of situations. Keep your boundaries in place. Don't forget, you can jump on my SoundCloud account and look for the Protecting Your Energy audio. That's another thing that I'll be adding into the Heads Up community as I feel that I need to do a meditation, guided meditation or visualization or anything like that. You'll receive those as well. It'll be a content-rich community for you to jump into. There you go. That's all I have to share. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to being in your life this year. Thank you for being in mine. This year, just 5 days ago, I celebrated my 11th anniversary of becoming a professional energy healer. So 11's a master year. So I'm looking forward to mastering the art of helping you stay away from suffering. Okay. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.